In today's video, we're going to talk about how to find real estate deals in today's market. I'm going to share 3 simple tips with you in regards to how to find these deals. A lot of people have been wondering how to go out there and get more real estate deals, especially with all of the competition and the low inventory that we have on the market right now. So I'm going to share with you as a beginner or even as a veteran investor, how you can get out there and find all the real estate deals you need and what we're doing in my business in order to make this happen. Coming up. All right, so the first thing we're gonna cover is how to combat the low inventory issue and why it really doesn't even matter if you're a real estate investor. The second thing we're gonna cover is one simple thing that you should be doing right now in order to be able to get more deals with very minimal effort. And then third, I'm gonna share with you the best way to find these deals. And believe it or not, you already have access to these types of leads. In addition to that, I'm also gonna share an example of how you can go out there and apply this into your business as well. Before we jump into all of this content, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that like button. And also be sure to comment below. Don't be shy on this channel. I wanna communicate with you. I wanna help you in your real estate business. And in order for me to be able to do that, I gotta be able to know exactly where you are in your business. So make sure you leave a comment and share this video with other people who might be interested in getting started in real estate today. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's content. So the first strategy that I wanna share with you is targeting off-market properties. Now, this is nothing new if you've been in the real estate investing business for a little while, but it may be new if you're brand new to investing. Now hang in there because there's a couple of reasons why you want to focus on off-market properties, even if the market wasn't in the condition that it's in right now. So basically on-market properties are selling really quickly right now and there's low inventory. So that means that there's going to be a larger buyer pool and buyers are going to be ramping up the price because they just want to get the deal. With off-market properties, they don't have access to the same buyer pool as the on-market properties do. And in addition to that, most off-market properties, especially the ones that need work, are gonna struggle to find buyers who can pay cash for those properties or at least take over them creatively in order to be able to make a deal happen. So on-market properties will generally deal with buyers who are looking for that house that doesn't really need a lot of work, and those particular properties will sell at a higher price, and those property owners will generally have a lot more access to buyers. When you have off-market properties that are typically in distress, then that type of property owner will have access to some buyers, but they're limited to the type of buyer that they can actually find even if they were on the market. Because if the property is in distress, let's just say physically distressed, it's gonna be difficult for a buyer to get a mortgage on that type of property. So that limits that type of property seller to the type of person that can pay cash for the property. And that's usually the investor that can do that. So as you can see, if the property is on market or off market, it doesn't really matter because the buyers that can buy that type of property are gonna be very limited in the real estate market. Now, as I've mentioned in other videos, and as I've just mentioned a second ago, you're looking for properties that are in distress. Now, there's 2 types of distress that you can focus on. You have physically distressed and financially distressed properties. Typically, the physically distressed properties are really the ones that you wanna target. And if you can pick up the financially distressed properties, you can do more creative deals that way as well. Either way, as an investor, you're providing a solution to the seller who will have a tougher time selling their property if the property needed some work or if they were underwater on the property as well. So what you want to do is focus on physically distressed off-market properties in order to be able to find the best deals in today's market. Now, before I move on to the next step, another thing I wanted to mention is there's a small pool of these types of properties available. Generally, nationwide, there's about 5 to 10% of all of the inventory that's available, all of the houses in the US that are available, about 5 to 10% of those properties will fall under the the distressed category. So there's still enough out there for everybody to eat. Okay, and if you just focus on that 5 to 10% and leave the other 90% alone, you're still going to be able to do a lot of real estate deals in today's market. So once again, focus on off-market distressed properties, and you're going to be well on your way to continuing to do a lot of deals this year. Step number 2 is to adjust your game plan and your offers according to what the market adjustments are. So I did some research, and I'm going to go ahead and pop it up right there on the screen. But basically, it stated that just last year, home prices rose in the US on average of about 19%. And year over year, for the last couple of years, there's been about an 18% increase in values of properties. So what that means is that prices are going up. Again, with the low inventory and the large buyer pool, buyers are forcing the prices of the homes up. And obviously, you have to adjust according to what's happening in the market as well. At the end of the day, you have to adjust your offer in order to be able to compensate for what the market is doing. So for example, if you have a house that's $100,000 that rose 19%, let's call it 20% just to give it a flat rate. Let's say it rose 20% in value over the last year. That means that that house is now worth $120,000. So before, when the house was 100 grand, you may have offered 40 to 50, maybe $60,000, depending on the condition of the house, to the seller in order to be able to make that deal happen. Now, what you have to do is adjust your offer according to what's happening in the market. So if the market rose 20%, in order for you to be able to compete with your competition, you have to raise your offers by 20%. So your new offer, instead of, let's say, a $50,000 offer, it may be $60,000, okay, just to compensate for the difference in what's actually happening in the market. This is how you're gonna stay in the game. And in order to stay in the game, you gotta know what's happening in the market. So continue to watch the market and adjust your offers accordingly. So that's strategy number 2. So we just covered strategy number 1, which is basically to focus on what you should be focusing on as an investor, vacant properties that are in distress, and focusing on that 5 to 10% rather than the 90%, okay? And then we also talked about focusing on adjusting according to what the market conditions are doing right now. Again, the market rose 19% last year. You need to raise your offers 19 to 20% in order to compete with the competition that's out there trying to get the same deal as well. All right, so that brings me to strategy number 3 that's working for us right now. And believe it or not, this is probably one of the best ways to find deals right now because you already have access to the leads. That's to go ahead and follow up with the leads that you have already contacted. You've already made them an offer. They rejected the offer because they felt that the offer amount was too low or they just wasn't ready to sell yet. And instead, when you make that adjustment that we talked about in strategy number 2, that extra 20%, let's say you offered them $50,000 before, when you come back to them and say, look, I'm gonna offer you $60,000, I just want your property, chances are you're gonna be able to pick up a good number of those deals. And just to give you an example of how these things actually play out in my business, let's take, for example, the rehab that I've been showing you guys on the most recent bird deal that I'm doing right now. When I got that property, before I purchased it, I got a future value appraisal of $120,000 on that particular house. Not so long ago, in fact, a few weeks ago, a house right around the corner just sold for $160,000. In fact, it was $162,000, and it's the same type of house. So what do you think happened with the value of my property? Being that it's the same like and kind type of house, we're putting the same amenities, the same type of look and feel into my house. Instead of 120 grand, I can command a much higher price on that property. So I basically made a market adjustment on my house, which is obviously gonna put more money in my pocket. So rather than me paying, $40,000 for that house, which it would have sold for beforehand, before we actually did some market research, we offered $73,000 on that house. So we paid more than what we would normally pay for on that particular house, and the numbers just make sense. So we were able to get the deal with very little headaches. Okay, the seller didn't even negotiate that much because they were happy that we were able to pay a little bit more for the property. So you want to make market adjustments. You want to make adjustments in your business in order to be able to go from where you are to where you want to go and to stay in the game and finding deals in today's market. Now, if you want more information on how you can work with my team and I one-on-one in order to be able to go from where you are to where you want to go in your real estate business to help you really take your business to the next level this year, then be sure to check the link in the description box where it says get more from Jamel. Within that link, there's going to be a free consultation that you can take advantage of. There's no obligations, just to sit and talk with my team to see how we can help you go from where you are to where you want to go in your real estate business as quickly as possible. So make sure you check the link in the description box where it says get more from Jamel, and we look forward to having this discussion with you. In the meantime, after you watch that video, you can go ahead and watch the video that just popped up on the screen in order to be able to get more information on your real estate investing endeavors. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.